What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk to you about the top 10 WordPress plugins you could use for search engine optimization. Now if you've owned your website for a while or if you've owned your blog for a while, then you've already most likely heard of the term SEO or search engine optimization. The basics of it is where you try to rank your website on page 1 of Google, because obviously if you're within the top 10 search results, the likelihood of your article or your website being viewed increases. So I'm going to show you real quick what happens over here when we want to search for SEO. I'm going to go over here, just type out SEO, and by doing that we get over 486 million results. Now that's a lot of websites trying to give you information of what SEO is and how to ensure that your website ranks well. Now on the first page you do see a lot of great websites that are dedicated to this. The number one that you should look at is over here from Google itself. They actually give you a starter guide on search engine optimization. So you might as well go directly to the source. I mean, they're giving you what they want your website to do in order to do well within the search engines. Then of course there's other great ones as well, like Moz.com, Search Engine Land. NeilPatel.com is a great one. He gives you a lot of information on ways to improve your search rankings, and some other ones as well. But that's a lot of websites. That's 486 million. Now what I tell people is there's 5 fundamentals of search engine optimization that you have to focus on. That's a well-coded website that performs well in the browser. You have to create high quality content on a consistent basis, drive traffic to your website, and then rinse and repeat. You do that and in time your website will do well. Now one of the benefits of using WordPress is your ability to create high quality content on a consistent basis, because that's one of the key things you have to focus on. And since WordPress is a CMS, that's easy to do. Alright, so let's take a look at the top 10 WordPress plugins you could use to improve your search engine optimization of your WordPress website. So I'm logged into my local WordPress installation. I'm going to X out of this link there, and you're going to see that I currently have no plugins installed. That's because I want to make this distraction free. So now for this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work backwards, because we all know the big names in search engine optimization, and I created some videos on how to properly configure and install some of them. But I'm going to leave those for last in this video, and I'm going to talk about some other plugins that you might not have heard of yet. Maybe you have, but just in case, these are some plugins that I think you'll find beneficial. Alright, so the first one we're going to go to, I'm going to add new plugin over here. I'm going to search for SEO post content links. And this is the one we're going to look at right here. So if you look at more details, what this plugin does, it helps your internal linking of your page and your post and your categories. Now that's important, because if you have a website or a blog that has a good amount of articles, you're going to want to make sure that your internal linking is on point. That's going to help people stay on your website and find similar types of content. It'll decrease your bounce rate, and that's a Google ranking factor. If a person visits your website and they click off, or if they leave after viewing one article, that is a negative ranking factor. But if they go from one post to another page and another article, that indicates to Google that the content your website is providing is valuable. So using this type of plugin, the SEO post content links, this will improve your internal linking of your articles, your posts, and your pages. So real quick, if you install now, then activate, what you get is another option over here within your admin dashboard. You get the content links. If you click on that, you'll get presented with your settings, and this is going to look different depending on how big your website is. It'll give you all the category names, the category descriptions, the slug for it, the amount of posts, your link anchors over there, and you can get words and phrases for all your categories. So if you want an explanation, you can click on that, and what it does, it extracts words and phrases for this particular category, and it'll be used for linking between text in your various posts within this particular category right there. Alright, so it's a pretty simple plugin to use, and you're going to find it helps with your internal linking of your articles and posts. Alright, so that's the first one. Let's go back over here. I'm going to add a new one, and over here what I'll do is I'll type out SEO Squirrely, and this is the one we're going to look at right here. So if you look at more details, you're going to see that it's a very popular plugin. It's active on over 30,000 plus installations. And a lot of SEO specialists are impressed with this particular plugin right here. You see that it's been reviewed by Neil Patel. He's one of the key people within the SEO game. You see it's also been reviewed by Brian Dean. He's another one of the biggest names within SEO. And SEO Squirrely is more than just an SEO plugin. It's considered a complete content marketing suite Alright, so if you install it and then we'll activate it, we'll see what it does. So it brings you straight over here to the landing page within your dashboard. You can put in your email address, you can agree to the terms. You'll connect to Skrillly and start optimizing your website. And you see some of the options it has over here. You have your Skrillly keyword research tool, your live assistant, your performance analytics, your snippet tool, Skrillly first page optimization, open graph and Twitter cards, sitemap XML, SEO errors, favicons, JSON LD structured data, and you have a bunch of other ones down here as well. Alright, so let's see what happens when we add a post. So when you add a post, you're going to get this section over here. Now, you're obviously going to have to be connected to your Skrillly account, but pretty much what it's going to do is that it'll give you information about your title. Is it a good title? Is it a bad title? Is it too long? Is it too short? It'll give you keyword research tools, and it makes sure that your blog post is going to be SEO optimized. So that's SEO Skrillly. You can look at the customer service section here and see some more information about it. It's one you might want to consider. Alright, so now let's move on to the next plugin. Gonna go over here to search plugins. We'll type out the SEO framework, and it's gonna be this option over here. As you can see, it's very popular, has 5-star reviews, active on over 30,000 plus installations. We can look at more details. And pretty much what it does, it makes the process of ensuring your website's SEO friendly easy to do. So this is some of the information it says it does. It improves search presence by ranking your website distinctively. It's pre-configured, providing a suitable starting point for most websites. Automatically configures your SEO, shows you how to improve your SEO, and it supports some popular plugins like WooCommerce and bbPress as well. Alright, so let's install this. Then let's activate it. And then you see you have this SEO settings link here, the plugin home, extensions. Let's click on the SEO settings first. So you have that link over here in the sidebar under the title of SEO. So this one says SEO hints can be visually displayed throughout the dashboard. You can choose your title settings, your description and meta settings over here, your homepage settings, your social meta settings as well, like for Facebook, Twitter, and you can schedule your post dates right there. You have your schema settings over here. So schema markup is something that's been important for a while now. It helps within your search engine results because it adds some more structured data. So it improves the opportunity for people to click through to your website once they start seeing some of the information that's displayed within the search engines for your website. You have some settings over here for the robots meta settings. You have your webmaster settings, sitemap settings over here. You're going to see a lot of overlap with some of these plugins. Some of them are very general and give you a lot of functionality, and others are more targeted and specific. So that's this settings page over here. We can look at the performance, the canonical, things of that nature. Alright, so let's see what happens if we look at a post. Let's edit this one. You get this meta box down here, post SEO settings, and it gives you some information on what's good or what's not good in terms of your title and your post description right there. And if we go back to all post over here, you see you get some more information right here within this section of your dashboard. So it tells you your title length is far too short for this particular article. The description is too short. Post is being indexed. Posts are being followed. And search engines are allowed to archive this post. And the post isn't being redirected. So this gives you a lot of good, valuable information that you might not be aware of or that you might not find easily in reference to your articles and your posts. So that's the SEO framework. Go back over here to installed. They do have some extensions you can check out. Now these extensions, what they do is they enhance the functionality of the SEO framework. So definitely give it a try. You might find that it helps your overall website perform better in the search engines. Alright, so let's move on to the next one. We'll add new. And I'm going to go over here to search plugins. And this one's called user related posts. I did a video about this, I think about a year ago or more. I think it's time to update that video. But what this does is at the end of your articles, it links to other articles or posts within your website. Now that's important because as I mentioned with the first plugin, the SEO post content links, time on site is a ranking factor. So you want to provide valuable content to your website visitors, and you want to try to keep them on your website as much as possible. So by showing them other content that's related to the article they visited your site from, the likelihood they'll spend more time on your site. So we can look at more details here. You can see it's very popular. It's active on over 40,000 plus websites, has good ratings. It's one of the fastest plugins you could use when it comes to related posts. Some of the other options are going to slow down your website, and that's a concern because that can impact your search engine optimization. Page load time is a ranking factor, so you want to make sure that what you're using is not going to impact your load time. So user related post is going to be a good option as well. So we'll install this, then we'll activate it. and you get their landing page over here, but we can go straight to the settings page by clicking on this link, or we can go over here to related posts. All right, so these are the basic settings. So what happens is you create the top text here, the number of similar posts you want to display, where you want them to be displayed on, so your post or your pages, media, if you want to show it on your home page, if you want to have it show on your archives page or not, if you want to have a default image, you can set that over here. And you have a bunch of other options here. I'm going to create another video demonstrating this functionality because there's a lot of settings and there's going to be a lot of different ways you can make sure that you're maximizing the use of this plugin. So you can work with the default styling that it has here. You have a lot of ways to customize the way it looks and the way it presents itself on your website. And you could also add your custom CSS. So this is good if you want to make sure that the design of it looks good with your theme that you're using. Then you have this section over here as well. So this is a good plugin because, again, time on site is extremely important. You want to try to make sure that your website visitors spend as much time on your website as possible. So that's why I definitely recommend the Yuzo Related Post plugin. All right, so now let's go to the next one. We'll add new. I'm going to go over here, and we're looking for the SEO redirection plugin. So we look at more details. Now, the purpose of a plugin like this is if you're going to change the name of your posts or your articles or any information in terms of the URL, you want to make sure that you properly have the old links redirecting to your brand new links. This is about user experience, and it's about making sure that you're not missing out on opportunities when a person visits your website. If you've had your website for a while, you might have a lot of blog posts or you might have a lot of articles, and over time you might change your URL structure. So if somebody's been linking to a particular article and that URL changes, they're not going to be presented with the content that you wanted them to be presented with. So that's why having a plugin like this is going to be helpful. So you see it's active in over 50,000 plus installations. It does a 301, 302, and a 307 redirections, and it has full logs of all the redirected URLs. So let's install this. Let's see how it works. We'll activate it. And then you're going to find the link to it over here in the settings, SEO redirection. So you can create your custom redirects. You can just add a new one here. So you would redirect from one URL over here to another URL right here. And you can choose what type of redirection is going to be. The recommended one is 301, and these are the options that you have right there. And you can see your various redirects right here. You can see the history of them. You can see your various options. If you need help, you can check that out over here. And they do have some premium options as well. So I definitely recommend using a plugin like this if you're going to be changing the URL structure of your website. That'll make sure that people do not have a poor user experience when they come into your site from a link that might have been created a couple of years ago. All right, so that's SEO redirection. Let's go back over here. Let's add a new plugin. Now we're going to start getting into some of the more well-known plugins. So this one's going to be All-in-One Schema. And this is allinOneschema.org rich snippets. As you can see, it's very popular. Look at more details, and pretty much what this does, it helps with your rich snippets for your blog posts, your articles, your pages, your products, and other types of content you have on your website. This is going to be good for your click-through rate when it comes to someone visiting a search engine, typing out a search parameter, and when Google delivers the results, there'll be extra information related to your article or your post that'll likely lead to a higher click-through rate. So we're going to install this one, then we'll activate it, and you can go to the settings page over here. So this is where you'll start setting up some of the configuration. You see you have the item review snippet that you could work with, the events, person, product, recipe, software application, video, article, and service. Customizations over here. So this is to customize the look of the rich snippet box. This also gives you some information on how to use it. And then you have the facts over here. So I definitely recommend this because it gives you the type of structured data that Google wants you to have. So if you go over here to this Google tool for structured data, you can test your structured data here and see how it looks. Definitely play around with this. I'm going to do a deeper tutorial on how to use this plugin because it has some really good features. And I want to make sure to fully explain all the different types of functionality this plugin offers. So definitely look out for that video coming up. All right, so now we're going to go to plugins again and we'll add new. I'm going to search plugins. type out simple sitemap. It's going to be this one right here. Look at more details. You see it has nearly perfect reviews, 60,000 plus websites. This is going to give you an HTML sitemap. Now you might have heard of XML sitemaps, but there's also HTML based sitemaps. And this is good for user experience. It's good for the search engines. It makes your site more crawlable. So if you install this now, then you activate it. You can go over here to the simple sitemap settings link. They have their pro version, but pretty much what you're going to do is to display the simple sitemap on a post, page, or sidebar via text widget, enter the following shortcode. So all you do is just copy that shortcode right there, and you can put it anywhere on your website. You could also choose the post that you want to display, and you could format the output. You could even exclude certain post or pages if you don't want to have them show up in the search results. So you exclude equals and then the post ID. So this is a great one to have. I definitely recommend it. It's free. They do have a pro version, so you may want to check that out. But I think having an HTML sitemap on your website is definitely something you should have. All right, so we'll go to the next one. We'll add new. Now you most likely heard of this one. Google XML Sitemaps. As you can see, it's very popular, active on over 1 million active WordPress installations. Look at more details. Now this one's a very targeted and focused plugin, similar to the simple sitemap plugin that we just looked at. That one was for HTML based sitemaps. This one's for XML based sitemaps. And this is important because you want to make sure that Google and the search engines can crawl your website and know of all the important pages and links that are on your site. So as you can see, it has virtually perfect reviews. We can install now. We'll activate it. And then we will see that we have the link over here, XML sitemap. So you can notify the search engines of your sitemap. So you can do that by copying this link over here. Yours will be different. I'm on my local host, but pretty much it'll give you a sitemap of all your pages and your posts and your articles. And you would submit that to the Google search engines. Then you have some basic options over here. You can add additional pages. You can choose your post priority, your sitemap content. These are the things you're going to include in your sitemap. So it gives you a lot of different ways to customize the actual XML sitemap. You may not want everything in your sitemap, so that's why you have the ability to really customize this, because the purpose of it is to let Google and the search engines know what links are important for your website. You can exclude certain items over here. You can exclude the posts as well. You can change your crawling frequency, and you can set your priorities. So this is the absolute best XML sitemap generator for WordPress. It's very focused, very targeted. This functionality is built into some other plugins that are larger, but in terms of the actual XML sitemap, this is the absolute best one to use. And you can use this plugin with any of the other plugins that are out there as well. So you just have to decide if you want to have one plugin that does everything, or if you want to have a couple of very targeted, focused plugins. So that's the Google XML Sitemaps plugin. All right, let's go over here to plugins. We'll go to add new, and now we'll go over here, search plugins. Type out all-in-one SEO. This is one of the more popular large-scale type SEO plugins. If you look at the details here, it also gives you the XML sitemap support, gives you support for accelerated mobile pages with Google, Google Analytics, support for SEO on custom post types, and a bunch of other different options as well. So we install now. We'll activate it, and then you get presented with the landing page. Welcome to all-in-one SEO pack. So they give you some good beginner guides over here. These are things you should definitely take a look at. And then you can continue to the general settings. So there's a lot of configuration for this one. I'm going to also do another video just dedicated to this, because this alone could take a significant amount of time, and I don't want this video to end up being too long. But it gives you almost everything you need in terms of making sure your website is SEO optimized. We can look at the performance over here. These are the performance metrics of your website. You can try to raise the memory limits, raise the execution time for your site, and force rewrites. We can look at the feature manager. So these are some extensions that you could add on to it. So you may want to add some of these. I like the fact that they have these as options to add on versus just having everything built into the actual plugin itself. And if you have other plugins that are dealing with something like, say, XML sitemaps, you don't need to have that functionality built into this one as well. So I like the fact that it makes it modular. So that's all-in-one SEO pack. All right, so let's go over here to plugins again. Go to add new. And over here, we're going to type out Yoast. This is the most popular SEO plugin for WordPress. I did a video on this one a few months ago, so definitely take a look at that one. But if you look at it, you see it has over 15,000 6,000 reviews, and nearly all of them are 5 stars. It's active on over 1 million plus websites, and it fully optimizes your website. I mean, it gives you virtually everything you need. It has support for the XML sitemaps, RSS optimizations, breadcrumbs. Gives you a lot of different ways to customize your website to make it SEO friendly. So if we install this now and then we activate it, you're going to see we get a notification up here because we already have the all-in-one SEO plugin installed. So it's asking if you want to import your settings. Now that's a great feature because let's say you're using another SEO plugin, but then you find that you want to use Yoast. This process makes it easy for you to import your settings from the other SEO plugin. All right, so I did a video on how to properly configure the Yoast SEO plugin before, so definitely take a look at that. But the basics are, you get the link over here and you get a link up here as well. So we can go to our dashboard, and this is where you'll start configuring things. Gives you some information. It says we have some problems because the Google XML Sitemaps plugin is also installed. This is not an issue if you're not going to be using, let's say over here, we'll go to advanced and we'll save this. I'll show you what that's referencing. If you're not going to be using the built-in XML sitemaps functionality from Yoast, you can disable it and then it won't conflict with Google XML Sitemaps plugin. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to go over here to new and then post and just take a look at some of the stuff that we have. Now you're going to see a lot of other options here because of the other plugins we have installed, but this is the meta box for the all-in-one SEO pack. You see what it has here, so we can minimize that one. And now we see the Yoast SEO meta box over here as well. So this is how you customize your post and your pages in order to make sure it's providing the proper meta information for the search engines. That's important because it'll help with your overall SEO. Alright, so if we go back over here to install plugins, let's recap the plugins that we're using. Now you may not need to use all of these plugins, and in reality, if you're going to be using all-in-one SEO pack, then you shouldn't use the Yoast one, or if you're using Yoast, then you shouldn't use all-in-one SEO pack. They're both very popular, and I'll create another video where I compare both plugins since they really do provide similar functionality in terms of having a large-scale offering for search engine optimization. But these are the top 10 plugins that you might want to consider using to improve the search engine optimization of your website. We have all-in-one schema, we have the all-in-one SEO pack, we have the content links, which is great for internal linking between your content. We have the Google XML sitemaps. This is the absolute best one when it comes to creating XML sitemaps for your website. We have the related post plugin. This is the Uzo related post. That's important because it improves your website visitors' time on site. That's a metric that's important for Google. Then we have SEO by Squirrely. Now this is really a content marketing suite and you connect it with your Squirrely account, but it gives you a lot of information in terms of how to optimize your particular articles and posts and things of that nature. Then we have the SEO redirection. This is good when you're changing the URL structure of your website, or if you're changing the URL structure of a particular post or article to be more SEO friendly. If somebody links to that article with the old URL, you want to make sure they get redirected. So this plugin does that. Then we have the simple sitemap. This is for the HTML sitemap. It's important for user experience and for the search engines. Then we have the SEO framework, which really does try to make it very simple to SEO optimize your website. And then we have the biggest name in the game, which is the Yoast SEO plugin. These are the top 10 plugins you should consider using to improve the search engine optimization of your website. None of these plugins are going to guarantee you a spot in the top 10 results of Google, but they'll help you as long as you're focusing on the foundation of SEO, which is what I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Making sure you have a well-coded website that performs well in the browser, you're creating high-quality content on a consistent basis, and you're driving traffic to your website, and then rinse and repeat. As long as you're doing that, these plugins will help you along the way. Hopefully you found the video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification icon down below. If you need a website, visit pixmweb.com and I'll make sure to hook you up. And as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Take care.